So things aren't necessarily de-escalating in the Middle East this weekend, guys. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Happy Easter, by the way, to everybody that's celebrating today. Look, things are getting more hectic. President Trump's firing off tweets. We have Iran saying this and that. We had an F-15 jet go down 2 days ago, and the one guy, thank God, was found in a search and rescue operation. We'll cover that quickly in this video, and we just have to break down the charts, cover stocks I'm looking at, 5 companies, all of which are reporting earnings this week. So guys, we have a jam-packed video. And oh, by the way, we're getting inflation data at the end of the week, which we'll cover that today as well. So guys, hit the like button, consider subscribing, following along for more content. And oh, by the way, of course, take a sip of your coffee. Cheers. I appreciate you all for tuning in. And let's just dive into it. So you guys know, heading into this week, the market has actually been doing pretty okay, right? The last 2-3 trading days, we've seen a nice recovery in SPY, in the Qs, the Dow, the Russell, you name it. The VIX has come down a little bit, a lot of bit actually. The VIX is at 23. I think we hit the mid-30s at one point. So we're seeing a nice rally into Monday, tomorrow, which quite frankly, with what's been going on this weekend, this could be setting us up for a dump off, right? So you're noticing that on the charts here. We're noticing how we're running up over the last couple of days, all while maintaining a downtrend, right? You're seeing that on the 1 hour chart on the Qs, on SPY, you're seeing that as well. So we talked about this cup and handle in my recent video, which it's still there, right? But like I've said, this is a headline market. Every single day, something new happens where technicals aren't as reliable. Breaking down charts, technical analysis isn't as reliable as it is in a normal market. So yes, we have this cup and handle here, which in a normal market, yeah, this could play out. But with things escalating here over the weekend, at least from my view, I'm not too confident that we're going to see this play out necessarily. But my alerts are still set. 660 here on SPY, and on the Qs, I think it's at 590. Yeah, so maybe tomorrow morning we get some new news that pushes us higher. You know what I mean? But the way things are looking right now, heading into that April 6th, which is tomorrow, deadline for the Strait, where President Trump put that deadline saying you got to open the Strait by the 6th. I'm not too confident that that is going to happen here. So let's just cover what Trump's been saying, what Iran's saying, what to expect from inflation. We'll cover that here. Then we'll break down the stocks at the end of the video later on. So let's just dive into it, because to be honest, this stuff is more important, I would say, than the stocks to watch for this week. The companies that are reporting earnings, that's important too, but this stuff is even more important. Starting off here with inflation data. We might as well get this out of the way first. On April 10th, which is Friday, this upcoming Friday, we're getting CPI data, core CPI, and obviously the headline number, the all items index. We can see here, it's at 8:30 a.m., by the way, we're getting this data, East Coast time. Core CPI is projected at 0.3%. And you guys know core CPI excludes food and energy. Everybody, for the most part, knows that, or you should know that by now. So that's the monthly number, 0.3%. That's an increase from last month, 0.2%, right? So that's what they're projecting there on that monthly number. And on the all items index, guys, right? The monthly number, look at this. It's forecasted at 1%. Do you guys see that? 1% for the monthly number, and previously it was 0.3%. So what's that telling you? What's that telling you? Inflation is coming back up, at least in the short term. And I wonder why. Let's take a quick guess as to why that's happening. We all know why that's happening. So inflation is coming back up as expected. The monthly number 1% compared to last month's 0.3%, and the yearly number 3.4% is what it's projected at, the forecast, versus last month's annualized 2.4% number. So yes, guys, inflation is spiking in the short term. Now, will this be a super long-term problem? Will this ignite inflation like it did, 4 or 5 years ago? Not necessarily, in my opinion, unless oil stays up, elevated the price for a lot longer than expected. But the way I'm thinking is, yeah, we might get a couple months of higher readings here in CPI. In fact, I think that will happen. I don't know how many months, but I think it's going to drop off eventually. And it's not, in my opinion, going to get anywhere near 9-10% where it was at the peak a couple years ago. It's not going to get anywhere near that, but could it go 3.5-4%? On that annualized number? Yeah, it could. Maybe a little higher in the short term due to what's going on in the Middle East. And here we have one of the posts from this morning from President Donald Trump. I think this is from 7:52 a.m. He said, "We have rescued the seriously wounded and really brave F-15 crew member / officer. Thank God they got this guy, man, from deep inside the mountains of Iran," which you guys, everybody's heard of this story by now. 2 days ago, this plane got shot down. The Iranian military was looking hard in big numbers, President Trump says, and getting close. He is a highly respected colonel. This type of raid is seldom attempted because of the danger to man and equipment, which no doubt there's a lot of danger, in that search and rescue operation. I can only imagine. It just doesn't happen, says the president. The second raid came after the first one, where we rescued the pilot in broad daylight, also unusual, spending 7 hours over Iran. An amazing show of bravery and talent by all. I will be having a news conference with the military at the Oval Office on Monday at 1 p.m. East Coast time, I'm assuming there. God bless our great military warriors, President Donald J. Trump. So that's going to be definitely worth paying attention to, that news conference tomorrow, 1 p.m. East Coast time. And look here, shortly after he posted that, guys, he said at 8:03 a.m. this morning, East Coast time, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it, he said. Open the effing straight, he said, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, says President Trump, and he signed it off with President Donald J. Trump. Guys, are these words of de-escalation? Are these words of de-escalation? Absolutely not. He said Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped in one. He said open the effing straight, essentially calling them crazy lunatics, or you'll be living in hell. So yeah, these are not de-escalation words, Am I crazy here? And this is what Iran's saying this weekend, guys. Iran said they're vowing to open gates of hell if the United States and Israel escalate attacks, which, again, Trump just said. Guys, what Trump just said, are those de-escalation words or escalating words? They're escalating words, and if you think the strait's going to be open literally tomorrow, I just don't see it. It's not going to happen. Things are probably going to escalate from here. And Iran, this is what they're saying. The commander of the Joint Military Command said his country will target all infrastructure used by the U.S. military in the region, as well as Israel's infrastructure, if aggression against Iran escalates. And Trump literally just said in that tweet, come Tuesday, which is the day after the deadline, come Tuesday, he's coming for the power plants, the bridges, all in one, right? Power plant day, bridge day. So yeah, things are escalating at this point. And we can see here General Ali Abdullahi Ali Abadi's comments Saturday evening, carried by state media, came a few hours after Trump warned Tehran to open the Strait of Hormuz or face devastating consequences. And look, this is again what Trump has been saying. Time is running out. 48 hours before all hell will rain down on them, President Trump said via social media, as he re-upped a previous April 6th deadline for opening the shipping channel. So I don't know, guys. To me, as optimistic as I am longer term, I think this will ultimately end. Stocks will come back. I'm optimistic longer term. In the short term, man, the more I'm reading the news, the more I'm, keeping up with what's been going on over the weekend. I think we're due for some more volatility, some more red, quite frankly. And I just don't think we're going to see this end this week. Really, in the next couple of weeks, I think it's going to get dragged on a bit more here. But again, you have to look at it from, okay, President Trump has midterms coming up. He has all this stuff coming up that he's losing the vote. Let's be real. He's losing the people right now. So how is he going to get, these votes back before the midterms? I think, things are going to end, maybe not this week, but over the coming weeks here. And he's going to try and save the midterms. Will he succeed? Guys, I don't know. What are your thoughts? So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about some stocks. What I'm watching for this week in a bit of a more rapid fire style, considering we talked a bit more than I had planned about Iran, Trump, but all that stuff is very, very relevant right now. But before we actually dive into these stocks, check out the Moomoo link down below. You get up to $1,000 of NVIDIA stock and up to 8.1% APY on your uninvested cash in the Moomoo platform, guys, by simply using my exclusive link down below. Let's talk a little bit more about this and let's dive into these 5 stocks after. So I've been trading stocks for over a decade, guys, and one of my biggest problems has always been finding a platform that has it all. The clean and simple to use UI, right? All the advanced tools to help my advanced trading, and that's exactly why I've been using Moomoo for years. And what I love about Moomoo is they offer trader-grade platform capabilities that just flat out outpace competitors like Robinhood, in my opinion, by a mile. And again, it's a one-stop shop covering all asset classes from US stocks to international stocks, crypto, options, you name it. And guys, Moomoo's loaded up with features that you would have to pay a lot of money on other platforms to use. I mean, look at all this detail on their shareholders. We have key indicators, all the different financial statements. I mean, look at all this, guys. And you want to know the beautiful thing, guys? You can use Moomoo today as well and get up to 8.1% APY on your uninvested cash and up to $1,000 of NVIDIA stock, depending on how much money you deposit onto the platform, simply by using my affiliate link down below. And check out the disclaimer and all the terms and conditions. And now let's continue on. Okay, so the first stock I'm watching for this week is Applied Digital, ticker APLD. They have earnings coming up on the 8th, which is on Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, that's Wednesday. And analysts have them doing almost $78.5 million of revenue for the quarter, which would be up almost 50% from last year. We're talking last year they did about $53 million of revenue, and earnings per share, analysts are projecting them at negative 21 cents versus last year's loss of 8 cents. So they are going to lose a bit more money this year, but man, they're growing 50% almost year over year, and the stock's down from 43 a share now to what, 24 a share, 25 a share, down 40 freaking percent over the last 2.5 months. So for me, guys, I'm looking at Applied Digital here for a trade. I think it's a bit oversold in the short term. We're right above that 50 moving average on the 3-year chart. The max chart looks pretty good. The 1-year chart looks like, yeah, we're dipping under this moving average, but we're trying to recover back over it. So in my eyes, if APLD can actually get through $7 a share, it might be a runner, especially on good earnings. On other ones, Delta Airlines, ticker DAL, which this stock, for obvious reasons, got hammered all the way down to about 55 a share. But man, it's actually recovered quite nicely. It's up 20% off that low. And we have earnings for Delta coming up on Wednesday in the morning. And this goes to show a lot of these stocks, man, the airlines, the cruise lines in particular, they might bottom before oil starts to really come back down, before the war is actually over. And that goes for the entire stock market as well. Historically, markets typically bottom and start to recover before the war ends. We don't know if this is the exact bottom for sure, but Yeah, Delta's up a good chunk, and I think once oil really comes down, this could be back over 70 a share. So DAL earnings are on Wednesday. Analysts have them doing $14.93 billion of revenue versus 14.04 from last year. That is growth of just over 6% year over year, and EPS is projected at 60 cents versus 46 cents from last year. So I'm watching Delta Airlines, DAL. We have a nice cup and handle on it as well. You can see it on the 20-day kind of. Actually, no, you can't. On the 4-hour, if I zoom in, boom, cup handle. So DAL. Constellation Brands is another one. STZ, they're reporting earnings, I think, on Thursday morning, and analysts have them doing $1.88 billion versus $2.16 from last year. That would be down 13% year over year on EPS of $1.71 versus $2.63 from last year. So, yeah, STZ, EPS is not looking pretty year over year. Revenue's down 13%. Oof, not too pretty. But if this is able to get through 155, 160, start to break out there a little bit, maybe it could be a runner. So Levi Strauss is number 4. And by the way, guys, if you haven't hit the like button yet, hit that like button, consider subscribing, consider joining the Patreon for my portfolio updates and private Discord if you're interested. I appreciate you guys as always. So Levi's another one this week. They're on the 7th, so they're on Tuesday in the aftermarket, and analysts have them doing $1.65 billion, quite the difference, of revenue versus $1.53 billion from last year. That would be up 8% year over year on EPS of 37 cents versus 38 cents from last year. Not too bad, but the chart looks pretty bad. The chart does not look pretty at all, guys. Yeah, it's breaking down here on the 1 year, on the 3 year. It's trying to fight right here. We'll see if it officially confirms the bounce past, I would say, $20. That'd be a good sign for Levi Strauss. So the last one here, guys, which you might be like, Stas, BlackBerry, isn't that an extinct, archaic company? Well, it's not. It's still around. They're still kicking, guys, and they have earnings coming up on the 9th, Thursday morning. So BlackBerry's been in a downtrend for quite some time here, guys. Years at this point. Years. I mean, BlackBerry stock peaked in 2008 for obvious reasons. Hello, the iPhone came out right around, I think, 2007. I think the iPhone came out 6, 7, 8, right around that time. BlackBerry was obviously popping back then. I mean, BlackBerry was a bit before my time. I mean, I'm born in 96, guys. So, I mean, look, I was 12 or 13. Look, I remember BlackBerries being everywhere, but I never had one. I mean, geez, I was 12 or 13. But yeah, that's when the iPhone came out. And obviously the rest is history. But BlackBerry, they're reporting earnings this week. Earnings per share is projected at 4 cents versus 3 cents from last year on revenue of $144.5 million versus $141 million from last year. That would be growth of 2% year over year. And I'm not too sure what the share statistics are right now, how many shares are sold short, what the float's looking like. This could be one of those short squeeze plays potentially. But I know it was back in 2020. I don't know what the stats are looking like nowadays, guys, but we are up a good chunk into earnings, about 14% off the low. We are breaking out here a little bit, slowly above these moving averages. So keep your eyes on it into the print. I know I am. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Run the likes up. Make sure to subscribe. Join the Patreon for my portfolio updates, all that. You get access to my, trades, investments, how I'm selling options to create income, and you get access to my private Discord. Guys, it's all linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stasurfest.com/Patreon. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you all in the next video.